Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, college football fans, sports fans across the nation and around the world. This is Tim May with the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall. Clay, glad to have you back. I know you just took that trip to Mississippi to pay homage, memorial service to your mom who passed away a little while ago and stuff. And man, that in your rearview mirror, that's an interesting sight, right? Yeah, you try to drive with your eyes on the road ahead, but in a moment like that, you're reflecting.
Isn't that the truth? A ton of memories come flooding back. Tim, it was a very comforting time. We probably had 30 to 35 people there.
Wow, that's good.
But they were the perfect 35.
Yeah.
The people I wanted to see and hug, and a lot of hugging.
Yeah.
So we can just get into that later, but it was just made me feel great. And my wife was right there side by side.
There you go. We will get into that later. I want to touch on some things with you, especially the small town feel of things.
Yeah.
I've been away from Lufkin, Texas for a long time. What did I tell you a while ago? 49 years. Yeah. But it still feels like home when you go there, just like Demopolis, Alabama still feels like home. Tuscaloosa, where we spent so much of our childhood visiting my grandparents along the way. I mean, just funny how it just still hits you right when you go through the city limits, even though everything's changed dramatically, right?
Little bit.
Yeah.
But there's so many things. I
don't know why my alarm clock always goes off, but go ahead. Yeah.
No, it was just to be in that small town America again, and people who it had been 44 years since I had seen two of the cousins. One came from Amarillo, the other from Tulsa. So both sides of the family were represented, and we just had a great time together.
Yeah, you know what those people going back to Amarillo were saying as they're riding back.
Why'd I come this far?
No, I'll just get into George Strait song.
Yes, but yeah.
What is it? 2 hours out of Amarillo, up from San Antonio.
Yeah.
The only clothes I've got are the ones I've got on.
Tough time.
Anyway, but we digress. We'll be back to that. I definitely want to touch on that because you and I are both from small towns in the South, and what that meant to us growing up. But boy, we both lived in the North a very, very, very long time, and enjoyed it. The reason I stayed in Ohio when I moved up here is because I like it in Ohio, except for the month of February, which is rapidly coming to a close. The month of February, I don't think I've ever had a good February in terms of enjoying where you are. The only thing was I've gotten to go to Vegas a few times in the month of February with my buddy Jeff Snook.
Get away.
We'd hang out there during Super Bowl week or something, and it was cool. But even then, it was cold. But just something to get away from the gray, right?
Yeah.
Clay and May get away from the gray. There we go. But anyway, I digress. While you were gone, this just broke earlier this week. Matt Patricia officially is staying on as the defensive coordinator. Probably some other title too, so they can justify paying him $3 million or whatever, $3 million a year, whatever it finally is going to be. He agrees to an upgraded contract with Ohio State. Ross Bjork, Ryan Day wanted to see it done. Ross Bjork got it done, and I'm telling you, I know when you're athletic director, some people like you, some people don't. Like you've heard me say that a million times. Two people in this world are guaranteed to get booed when they get introduced. It's a commissioner of a sport and an athletic director.
Yeah.
But they got it done, and I think that was vital. And this is what's funny about this. Well, wait, let's play the sound that Matt Patricia put out the day after he agreed to the contract and got everything done. He seemed extremely excited.
Didn't he?
But he put out something on his Instagram page. And that's what I like about him, man. He's astute. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that pistol behind his ear just for props. But
I love the fact he made it happen so quickly. I'm talking about the success in year one as opposed to.
Well, yeah, but we'll get to that in a minute too. You know what I mean?
Baby.
Sometimes when you show up at a work site, the lumber's already there, and sometimes you got to go get it. So we'll talk about that stupid analogy in just a minute, but let's hear what he had to say via his Instagram account.
excited to just share the news that I've extended my contract. We will be staying in Columbus. I'm so appreciative of all your support. The fans have been unbelievable. Certainly thank you to Coach Day and his trust in me with the defense, our athletic director, Ross, his staff, our coaching department, all the players. Just so thankful to be here. We love Columbus. We love the Buckeyes. We're going to work tirelessly to continue to build the defense and go out and defend the shoe. So we're excited to get back at it, and certainly looking forward to next year. But just wanted to express my gratitude and appreciation for Buckeye Nation and how much you mean to us, and we're just excited to be here. So looking forward to next season. Thanks.
That's what he meant. Next season, not next year. Who knows? Maybe here next year too. Or we might be having the same conversation on the Tim May show featuring Clay Hall.
Maybe next season referred to 27. I thought it was.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. He said next year, and then he said next season. Yeah. So, no, there will always be people who parse every word that's said.
Sure.
And, we'll get into other people who parse things that happen later on, which really, I'm going to use this term one time, pisses me off.
Yeah.
But grow up, people.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back to what we were talking about, getting Matt Patricia back. And, you touched on it about, what it means to the team. But when he rolled in this time a year ago, pretty much a little bit, just a few, it was about this time a year ago is when Ryan Day hired him. Dude, they had all these guys coming back. They had 4 starters back on the defensive line. They, excuse me. No, they did not. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the year before. Yeah, no, they were missing 4 starters on the defensive line, but they did have Caleb Downs back. They did have Sonny Styles back. Man, I got mixed up there in my as I started to deliver that sermon, I realized I was in Colossians instead of Ephesians.
You need to do stand up. The analogies, your previous analogy about when you showed up and the lumber was already there.
Yeah.
But he brought the right stuff to the equation.
He brought the right nails.
There you go.
And
the right hammer.
He brought the right nails and the right hammer. I mixed those two up. But the bottom line was, now you're looking at this defense, they're replacing vital parts now. I mean, you always had the feeling that Caden McDonald and Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson and Edric Houston or Tywan Malone ended up being Tywan Malone a lot of the times in that other defensive tackle spot. But those guys, they were replacing 4 starters, but all of those guys had played. And, and so it wasn't as vital as maybe it looks this year, but they did get James Smith and John Walker for those defensive tackle spots in the portal. You could say they fell short, maybe a couple other spots of trying to gain players for this team, vital fill-in, vital, what do they call that? Mortar between the bricks, so to speak.
The glue.
But I think the Smith and Walker, that could be a lawyer firm or a legal firm or or Bourbon, Smith and Walker.
Smith and Walker in Houston.
Yeah, Smith and Walker in Houston. But the bottom line is, I think and Will Smith Jr. But the bottom line is, I think they've got the parts there. We'll see. Transfers, you never truly know how they're going to show up. We saw that on the offensive line last year with Ethan Onianwa and Philip Daniels. It was Philip Daniels from Minnesota, transferred in from Minnesota. He's originally from north of Cincinnati, who really got the job done at right tackle. And Ethan Onianwa, was a disappointment, a failure. No, that's putting it way too harsh, but disappointment, yes, in the fact that he never nailed down any kind of a starting job on the offensive line, and did he look the part. Agreed. Gosh. But the bottom line is, Matt Patricia's back. His task, I don't know, is tougher. Do you agree?
Yeah. It ratchets up a little bit, but I think he will come to the fore. He'll, like I said, he got here, he turned it on. He had a great defense.
He brought sprinkles with him, as I said, to put on the ice cream.
You said that many times. Whereas Jim Knowles needed a 3-year run-up, it felt like, to graduate from the first to the second to the third. Maybe it was, you know what
Jim Knowles needed?
Is too intricate, maybe.
Yeah, well, Ryan knew something drastic had to be fixed on that defense. So he brought in a guy with a defense, which is what Jim Knowles was. And and then Jim Knowles realized about half a season into it, you know what? Well, not even half a season. I don't really need to do all the tricks and stuff I was doing at Oklahoma State. We got the players.
Yeah,
we don't really. There's not really. And then so it took them a year and a half or so to really get things nailed down. And then of course, you know, the run for the national championship was sealed it. I mean, wow, what a defense when they needed it the most. You know, the 4-game run to the national championship. Matt Patricia came in to kind of add to that defense, add some new things. I mean, some new wrinkles. The big tug right now, tug of war. It's not even a tug of war, but I think the big philosophical conversation that went on once he got here and has probably gone on in this offseason is, you know, does he want to use even more of an odd man look up front as opposed to a lot of mixing even and odd, meaning I'm talking about the down linemen, et cetera.
Yeah.
Because you got to take what your strengths are from a roster standpoint and convert it.
Can't wait to see how that
mixes and matches. Spring
in the spring.
Spring's going to be interesting, but
2 weeks away, folks.
Yeah, you lose both your starting. You lose both your starting defensive. Well, you lose 1.5 of your starting defensive tackles. You lose Caden Curry, defensive end. You lose both of your starting linebackers. I'm talking about when you only started 2.
Right.
So those are big. You're losing Caleb Downs, arguably. Man, best defensive player in the country. I don't know how you judge that. The most coach on the field and deliver the. I mean, I don't even know what the category is. I'm getting lost in my own analogies here.
Well,
tremendous presence on your defense. He will be an immediate tremendous presence on whatever National Football League team drafts him on the defense in terms of a glue guy, in terms of a clue guy, of having a clue. And so I'm very curious to see who they call on to step up in that role on this defense. But I mean, Peyton Pierce and Riley Pettijohn, for example, that's 2 good linebackers right off the bat.
Well, Sonny Styles talked about it.
That's what I want to get to.
Yeah.
So number one, you took notes. You saw where Sonny Styles appeared in front of the media at the combine this week. I think he and Arvell Reese work out maybe Thursday. Do I have that right?
I think that's right.
Thursday or Friday. But the bottom line, and boy, Arvell Reese is expected to do great things, but so is Sonny.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, James Laurinaitis loves both of those guys, but Sonny, man, wow. What an athlete. It's going to be more like a track meet for him over there in terms of the decathlon or something, right? Where he can do a little bit of everything. But go ahead.
10 events.
What did Sonny have to say about Matt Patricia, for example, that you gleaned?
Well, he was so very appreciative of the fact that that Matt Patricia has done a lot of impromptu Zoom hookups to school those guys, each position, on what they might expect to be grilled on. And hey,
you talking about at the NFL Combine?
Yeah. When you get up in front of that whiteboard, can you draw it up? Can you explain it? Can you get it done? So I think it goes back to what Ryan Day said about Matt Patricia when he got here day one. He invested in the players. He got to know them, and maybe Knowles was a little more business-like, whereas this guy, you can go to him at any moment and ask a question. And so I think
imagine that.
I mean,
imagine a guy that's got 3 Super Bowl rings and has been a head coach, but literally knows the ins and outs of where you aspire to get to.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Some of the tricks too.
That's it.
No matter what you feel, go in there acting like you feel this way. You know what I mean? Because this impressed me when we interviewed A, B, C, or D, and this turned me off to that guy. Wait a minute. I really, is that guy? Is he going to buy in? Is he going to be able to grasp what we're going to try to get done, et cetera? I mean, you want to sell yourself because it pays off, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. He talked too about the future. You just named the 2 guys I was about to mention, Pettijohn and Peyton Pierce, and Sonny said they're ready to, they got the mantle now, and they'll take it and run. But it's such a, it's a pressure packed thing. You can work out, you can interview, and then you get the doctor. Then they send you, and I've staffed that thing, and you have too. And you'll see a guy.
Actually, I have never been to the combine.
So, Tim, you'll be waiting on a guy. It's changed over the years, but like you're ready to go, and the NFL PR guy says he's going to see that he's got whatever and
A, B, C, and D,
and it could be 3 hours before he returns.
Yeah, turning cough.
Because if they've had some injury situations, they're gonna find it and they're gonna just MRI you to death.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they're going to dot the I.
Yeah, and so, but it is fun, when those guys know you're following them. Like it's not just at Ohio State, and but
somebody I don't know if it was Dan Hope or somebody, might have been Adam King, posted a great video. I think it's from when I think Arvell was on one podium and Sonny was on the other.
Okay,
and he panned from like Arvell's, or he panned from Sonny's podium where the media is gathered around for questions and answers. And there was a guy in the middle. I don't know who that guy was. And there was like 2 guys sitting there talking to him. Yeah. Sonny's, there were like probably 20, 25 guys. And then he panned, I think it was Arvell Reese's podium. And there were probably 20, 25 guys, media guys. Well, the good thing about Ohio State, and I think you agree with this, and I think Jerry Emming, outgoing sports information director, his last day is Saturday. But the great thing, and I think Ohio State has grasped this to a certain extent. I'm not sure everybody appreciates it. By the way, there's that noon. Now we've been revealed. We're either being about to be bombed or it's noon. And it's the tornado warning test that happens every noon. I
think it's the latter.
In the great state of Ohio. I hope it's the latter. But we're in a pretty good bunker here. I know it's warm in here. But the bottom line is the amount of media that covers Ohio State, the amount of the last several years, especially with Ohio State making these runs, is if it doesn't, it prepares you for the horde of media. And here's the thing, guarantee there are more guys sitting there wanting to talk to you after practice at an Ohio State practice than there is the Cleveland Browns or Cincinnati Bengals. More media.
Oh, I just recalled of the many times I was with Kirk Herbstreit at the Big Ten football meetings, mostly in Chicago, and before he even graduated higher and higher and higher. And he said, there's no question in my mind going to that school prepared me because
Q&A,
because of the constant, and even during his years, which you were a part of, you were probably talking to him more often than we talk to players now.
Number one, I thought he should have gotten more of a chance to play quarterback and earlier than he did, because I thought he definitely fit what they were trying to get done. I thought he was a hell of a damn good college quarterback. He knows how I feel about him.
Yeah,
but I'll never forget that time when in I think it was 91, when the Herman, God, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, the guy transferred in from Notre Dame, and they had decided he was going to be the starting quarterback. And John Cooper brought Herbstreit down the hall after a practice one day, and I was the only guy there. Most of the time I was the only guy there after practice. And although Moose and Dom were there a lot, but he said, Tim, I just want to let you know something. Give you a little scoop here. He goes, he had Kirk with him. He goes, looks like Kirk's going to move to safety. We think he can really help us at safety. And Kirk's standing there. He's like got his head down and stuff. He's kind of, I think it might have been going into his junior season. And Kirk is going, because he just wants to play, man.
Yeah.
When you've been there, he was the first guy to commit to John Cooper in the January of 88. And part of that recruiting class, which, boy, did they get a late start on that. They just, every obstacle you throw up in front of Cooper there, the first couple of years, they were thrown up in front of him, how late they got to it and everything. Bottom line is, and I just sit there and talk to Kirk about, just how much he wants to play. There was a chance he was going to play safety or some. And I could tell his heart was not in it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was more than a week later than he was back at quarterback. And Scott Graham, that was not Scott Graham, Kent Graham. had transferred from Notre Dame the year before. And, back then you had to sit out a year. Anyway, bottom line is next thing you know, he's back at quarterback and competed, got in some games, had a hell of a game against, I think, against Minnesota. Then he was a starter in 92 when they finally got the, as Gordon Gee said, this tie is one of our greatest wins ever when they tied Michigan.
Yeah.
But the point was, you could see Kirk studying all along, but, he had to be the guy he should thank for getting into television more than anybody is Paul Moose Spahn.
No, I've heard that.
Who took him under his wing and made him like a co-host of like the Forerunner,
wall-to-wall.
the wall-to-wall sports, which I've been on a lot, but was just right there with him, helping him. And he found, man, he was on radio too, 97.1 The Fan. And I was a guest on his show a lot of times. But he found his voice and he found his, because, he'll tell you, man, there was anxiety big time. He dealt with that, through his life because they moved all the time. But the bottom line was, but being around Ohio State football and the media horde that covers Ohio State football is a living, breathing mass.
It's immense.
Right. And it's classic when it's not the call-on questions, but you can just shout out questions, which is always been my forte. How about you?
Yeah.
But you'll get asked about strategy, this question, and then you'll be asked about your pet cat, the next question.
Yeah.
And then you get asked about, well, what do you think about Coach so-and-so? And then you'll get asked about, hey, what did you have for lunch yesterday? And then how have you changed your, in other words, every question is a non sequitur.
Yeah.
And
you got to learn to pivot.
Yes.
Like you do at quarterback.
Yeah. That's why I give Ryan Day props in the way, all those coaches have come along. But Ryan Day especially stands up there and gets asked the same question in different ways sometimes at press conferences, separated by 4 or 5 or 8 different other questions. And he just he takes his time. He acts like you're not bugging him, when in fact, he'd probably be like a dentist chair. He'd probably be anywhere other than there and goes about it. But yeah, I mean, it helped because Arvell Reese is much more standoffish in interview situations than Sonny's style. Sonny, I always liked his dad, but I guarantee you a lot of what Sonny and his brother, Lorenzo Styles Jr., a lot of their poise answering questions comes from their mom. You can tell, they weren't a product of just one person, because Lorenzo was great, man, when he was there as a player, great to talk to and stuff. But Sonny just has a way of talking, man.
I'll tell you what I noticed this morning, because Adam King had just a quick soundbite with Arvell, but it was longer than the normal 6 words.
Yeah.
It was like maybe 22 seconds, and he was much more at ease. And I think he felt like, this is my domain, man. I'm about to become somebody. And
here's the thing. I'm sure Matt Patricia enforced this with him along with everybody else who got him ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ready for that situation is, this is about football. If you want to talk a little bit about yourself, you can talk a little bit about yourself, but you gotta, those people are only privy to what you want to, I'm talking about us, the media. We're only privy to what you want to tell us. I mean, we can't demand you tell us about, somebody you beat up in 5th grade or, helping an old lady across the street, Bob. We're only privy to what you want to tell us in the final analysis, but become as engaging as you can be.
Right.
Because you're not just talking to the media, you're talking to scouts, coaches. They're going to be looking at that video. How did you handle yourself in a mass interview situation? Did you say the right thing? I don't know if that's the best way of putting it, but did you step your foot in it, or did you not? Did you, if you didn't understand a question, did you ask for clarity on a question, which is big? And, but mainly turn it around and talk about your bailiwick. Your bailiwick is football. That's why you're there. Talk about what you bring without being too braggadocio.
Well, that's what I was like, I'm missing this, because you got 2 of the top 10 picks.
Yeah.
Right there. On day 1.
Yeah.
And they're from the school you're covering. So big day today, because I didn't go and spend 4 days there. It was usually play, go over and back. It used to be you could stay one night,
Yeah.
Then it became you come over and back.
Yeah.
And then it became you
But
go.
we're talking about budgetary constraints, ladies and gentlemen.
And then it became with the new news director, you go over and you come back, and who's my No, you go. That's the year I lost my wallet, and it was recovered 8 months later. This guy calls me out of the blue. Are you Clay Hall? I think I have your wallet. I said, what? Because,
8 months?
Yeah, seriously. It came out of my pocket inside that combine establishment with a million. I don't know how many square feet that sucker is.
Yeah, you're talking about the Indianapolis convention.
But he says, do you want this, this, and this? And I said, I've stopped all those cards. He said, but I did find a picture of your family in here. And I said, hallelujah.
Yeah.
I've been missing that pic. Yeah. So anyway, he put it in the mail himself.
Wow. 8 months later, though, where had it been?
I got out of a parking garage, left there. It was dark. It was raining. And I got 40 pounds of equipment or more on my back.
Dangling.
And I went down. And I'm like,
oh, I didn't know that.
And then it's like, all right, the knee. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Checked all your parts.
So that was the only one-man band I had to do there.
Yeah.
After that.
So it fell out then, but then somebody, did you put together how it was around for 8 months before somebody called you?
Somebody.
I mean, it was the guy who found it. Did he work in the garage?
Yeah,
did
he worked in the facility. I don't know what
he did. He was going through a box or something one day and said, wait a minute. This guy didn't come back and pick this up.
Yeah.
This guy looks important. It says WSYX.
It's amazing.
/ what's the other channel? Fox.
WTTE.
Fox
28.
Fox 28.
Yeah, I don't know how he found
That was a double whammy.
And then I spotted Adam Heller, who was an agent for a couple of the guys.
Yeah.
And I said, after this wipeout, he was leaving. I go, can I get a ride? I can't walk that 1.5 miles or,
Yeah.
Anyway, but.
Wait a minute. You still parked in bargain parking despite getting cleared to be there?
No. No. Too far away.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed covering it because you got a ton of content for a week. And Ohio State was always, about a month later.
Yeah, we always had guys who covered the NFL.
Yeah.
And then they went to the combine. When I covered the NFL, I don't think there was the combine. That came along a little bit later. I covered the Browns and the Bengals back in 79 through 83. And then I started covering Ohio State. Got to go to a few Super Bowls during that time before the Super Bowl became what it is today, which is crazy. But I digress. But the bottom line is we always had guys who covered the Browns and they would go to the combine. And then after, like Bill Rabinowitz came on and covered Ohio State with me back in the mid 2000s, he kept going to the combine because he knew, fine with me.
Yeah.
Didn't miss it at all. I saw where Tom Withers, longtime NFL
CAP writer,
Associated Press writer in Cleveland. He tweeted today, he's never been to the combine. He counts that as a plus. But because, it is, like you said, it is a big interview opportunity for all these guys coming in and GMs and coaches from the National Football League, et cetera. But, back in the day, you weren't allowed to even watch the workouts.
No.
And that's just a recent phenomenon. But I watch them. I say I don't go, but I watch almost every.
It's televised.
I watch almost every one of those, or I tape them and watch them later. I want to see,
Yeah, the league finally got it through their head. Anyway.
Yeah.
They
knew it was a big deal. The National Football League does a better job than any other sport about remaining relevant every month of the calendar. Something is going on every month of the calendar. And we all know how many mock drafts are we going to see for the first round of this draft, of every draft. How many mock drafts do you see that have all the picks in them?
Yeah.
Almost none. You and I can do a mock first round draft pick.
That's it.
Draft thing. We'll do that. Matter of fact, you and I will do that.
It's not like bracketology.
Matter of fact, we may spread it out. We may do.
It's not 68.
We may do 8 teams over 8 teams, and then over 4 days. You know what I mean?
Hey, one other little tidbit.
Spread it out.
This morning, Caden McDonald has decided not to work out. He will do that at the OSU Pro Day, which is
Yeah.
It's almost always on March 25th.
Yeah. It's around my birthday somewhere. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, when is your birthday?
Oh, that's secret. It's top secret. I could tell you, but then I'd have to get my daughter's significant other, who's a captain in the Marine Corps in Special Ops, to kill you.
And he has accepted a draft invite to Pittsburgh, which tells you, that's a first rounder.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of,
it tells you he has first round speculation. But we all know that's no guarantee. Here's the thing about the draft before we move on.
Yeah.
The thing about the draft, no, we'll talk about the draft a little bit more in a second. But the thing about the draft is I've told Ohio State players this before, to become a first round draft pick, you and your agent have to convince one team you're the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to convince all 32, because you got to, your ego tells you could help any of the teams you're drafted by. You got to convince one team that they can't live without you.
But you got to spread the word like there's a lot of competition.
Well, no, I mean, but they're, the buzz is the buzz. That's why they call it that. I mean, there's a lot of false buzz, especially the closer you get to the draft, because some people want other teams to lay off of you because they want to be able to get you in a later round. All kinds of shenanigans.
That's it.
Shenanigans go on around the draft and stuff. Hey, while we're sitting here, let's just look at this, the Bucky Brooks NFL mock draft, the first couple of, let's just look at his first round right now as we speak. I mean, he's got Fernando Mendoza going to the Las Vegas Raiders with the very first pick. I think even the astronauts who've been cleared to go on that Artemis mission or whatever it is to go around the moon.
Okay.
Sometime this month or maybe early next month. I think even they have Fernando Mendoza going with the first pick in the draft, right?
That's rock solid.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Imagine that, man. You talk about now talent purveyors think all being on the same wavelength, that Fernando Mendoza is a can't miss with the first pick in the National Football League draft. Juxtapose means put together, but they don't necessarily go together. Juxtapose that next to him coming out of high school in Miami when nobody, I think Florida International wanted him. And he ended up, and some Ivy League schools, because you know how smart he is and stuff. Yep. And finally Cal Berkeley came around and offered him.
And he was, and what did I hear?
But he was like a 2-star.
Yeah.
Maybe a 2-star. And now he's a can't miss.
Yeah.
Now, look at how many people either didn't give a damn or were wrong about him coming out of high school, right? They get it wrong all the time. As I like to say, Stetson Bennett won 2 straight national championships, and Georgia tried to run him off 2, maybe 3 times as a walk-on. Get out of here. You're not going to play. Meanwhile, Carson Beck ends up, transferring.
It's that scene from Moneyball. He said, I've been in those rounds.
Well, let's look at it. You got Fernando Mendoza. You got the New York Jets. And maybe just to get eyeballs on his mock draft, instead of the Jets taking Arvell, Reese, or Caleb Downs, he's got the Jets taking David Bailey, edge rusher from Texas Tech.
Well, hang on.
Good for you.
You know how many
with the second pick.
Well, you know the name who now says Downs is going to the Jets. One of the preeminent prognosticators, draft experts. So
who's that? No, don't just the name.
No, you said let's not use the names, but you
can use the name. Who's the name? Who are you talking about?
Kuiper.
Okay. No, you can use Mel Kiper's name.
For the last 2 weeks or whenever he came up with his newest update.
But he's got who going where?
He's got Caleb Downs going to the Jets.
Here's the thing about Caleb. Here's the thing about go ahead.
Just because of their defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, and also their defensive woes.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Caleb Downs is going to upgrade the defense by his presence, meaning not just making plays, but about his awareness of what goes on a football field before, during, and after a play. His preparation is through the roof. And, he is dedicated to the game of football, yet he can talk about other things. My wife, I think I told you this. My wife said, that's a handsome young man. I mean, he can go a lot of different ways in his life. Yeah. I told him, man, he laughed really long and hard on that, but
he's articulate.
Yeah.
He'll handle New York.
But here's the thing. You got Arvell Reese sitting there too, as a possibility.
Yeah.
Arvell Reese is but Arvell Reese is still a project in the works as far as I'm concerned about how good he can be and what he can offer you. And if you do draft him, do you use him in the right way? Meaning as that omnipotent player, not just stand right here and do this.
Yeah.
But omnipotent player. That's what Matt Patricia was really good at until some offenses kind of caught up with it a little bit. But Arvell's he's going to wow him with his look, his body, his physicality, and then the way he really improved as a player. But anyway, this is he's now
so
he's got
this guy.
He's got Bucky Brooks.
No. Number 2 was who?
Is David Bailey, edge rusher from Texas Tech. That's kind of a one trick deal there. I remember when they took Vernon Golston from Ohio State, and that did not work out well for them.
Wow.
Vernon was kind of that same kind of player. We'll see how it works out if, in fact, they go this route. I think he's just putting him there so you'll pay attention to his mock draft.
Okay.
Arizona Cardinals, Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle from Miami, pretty damn good player to the Arizona Cardinals. They could use another tackle to go with one of our favorite people, Paris Johnson Jr. And then he has the Tennessee Titans. He has the Tennessee Titans taking Arvell Reese with the fourth pick. That would be a good pick. Let's just go through this a little bit for you.
All right.
The New York Giants right after that, taking Caleb Downs with the 5th overall pick. And then the Browns taking offensive tackle Spencer Fano from Utah.
Heard that a lot.
They do need depth on the offensive line. Was I can see that one. Here's a pick I really like. My jury was out on this guy until I watched him live.
Really?
Reuben Bain Jr.
Oh, man.
When he made it a track meet out there and just made it, I'm either going to run through, around, or inside Phillip Daniels. I felt for Phillip Daniels because Reuben Bain was lining up 6-7 yards off the ball and just taking a running, not a direct line. You would set up to take him on, and then boom, he'd put a little move around you. But he made life a living hell for Julian Sayin.
If you're not looking for a quarterback, and I think there's only one in the first round, I would take that guy right there.
I like him a lot.
I would take him.
But he's going to be. I'm not sure how good he really is against the run. So I'm not sure if he's a three down defensive end. We'll see how as that goes. And then the 8th pick, New Orleans Saints. Bucky Brooks has New Orleans Saints taking running back Jeremiah Love from the Notre Dame. And let's just go through 10 picks here, which takes us through Kansas City Chiefs. They need this guy a lot based on what I saw at the end of the year. His name is Carnell Tate. Tate from Ohio State. Don't ask him what he ate. And if he's not, take him with pick number 9 if he's not pick number 8. I had to get one more rhyme in there. But, boy, I think that would be a great pick. Carnell should go in the top 10 picks because I think he is a difference maker. And he's a guy, let's say he goes onto your team and initially he's your number 2. What a hell of a number 2. Well, he's already used to being the number 2.
I was noticing yesterday, who's the Morning Zoo co-host that played safety who intercepted the pass against Alabama?
Tyvis Powell.
Thank you. Sorry.
It's not Morning Zoo. It's Morning Juice, I think.
Yeah.
Or some kind of thing.
But he says
97.1 The Fan.
That USC wide receiver Mekhi Lemon.
I like him a lot.
He's 5'10". Carnell Tate is 6'2".
I like Carnell Tate more, but I like Mekhi Lemon a lot.
All right, I'll give you that. But I would not take this slot receiver over a guy who might be the number 1 for the Browns.
Yeah. And by the way, we'll just stop it at pick number 10. That's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
And Bucky Brooks has the Cincinnati Bengals taking Kedrick Falk, an edge rusher from Auburn. They got to do something about their defense. I think I agree with that, but they got to do something about their offense too. I mean, their offensive line. I mean, how long can Joe Burrow just get beat up?
Well, Hugh Freeze would still be at Auburn if he had an offense because he had a D. I mean, I saw him enough times last fall.
All right, but anyway,
they were vicious.
What else were we going to talk about? Because I gave you the lineup and then I forget it because I don't write it down.
We got Miami hoops if you want to touch on that. And
let's touch on that right now. Miami is 20 as we record this. Miami's 28-0, and I think they take on Western Michigan later this week with a chance to go 29-0. Here's the point.
Okay,
they are a story, a huge story of this particular college basketball season. You know, we had Jerry Palm on a week ago. Bracketology. I mean, big time. He helped invent bracketology. But just talking about what a shame, because there's a chance Miami loses one game and doesn't go to the NCAA tournament. There's a chance Miami loses one game or loses the MAC tournament championship game, is undefeated when it plays in it and it gets beat and doesn't go to the NCAA tournament just based. I mean, their strength of schedule really,
I know,
to borrow a well-used word, their strength of schedule sucks. Well, it's one of the worst in the nation. It's in the 300 somethings.
All right, make them a 14 seed and make them play in.
Yeah.
That's
basically what he's saying. It'd be a crime almost for them not to be in, because here's the thing. We all know this. It finally comes down to a committee. This isn't a BCS formula or something from the old days where the formula dictated. And even the formula had human input, which were the polls that they incorporated into the BCS formula, along with those computer rankings. But just put them in, like you said. Here's your invitation to the ball, Cinderella. We'll see if you stay for the last dance.
I mean, aren't you curious?
But you're in the dance.
They're the only undefeated team in D1.
How good are they? Yeah.
And
how good are they?
You know, I mean,
what was that? Chicago Loyola with the nun, the lady that just passed away,
and two kids from Hilliard. I'm gonna mess it up.
From where, in Oakland?
No. Who played for Loyola?
Yeah.
And their dad is a high school coach, and they played for him.
Yeah.
And I walked in the gym, and I had a shootout with this kid. Gosh,
did he go down to the wire?
It's infuriating me.
Did he go down to the wire?
I think we shot.
Well, why don't you look it up while I'm talking? But you can look it up.
Well, he has since graduated, I believe.
Well, I know, but you never know how good teams are until they play each other. I mean, you can tell in basketball usually if this team is replete with 6'7" guys, especially maybe 6'8", a couple guys in the post, and the other team has 6'9" and up in the three, forward and post positions. You can tell a basketball team just walking in which one probably should and will win. But I want to see it. I tell you, Miami of Ohio has gone long enough undefeated this season. I want to see them in the NCAA tournament. I want to see what they're all about. The bad news would be if they got in it and just got wiped out. So then it wouldn't just question. It wouldn't just question how good was Miami of Ohio this year. How good was the MAC this year?
Yeah, I think if they had to do play-in, won the game, gets them a little more acclimated to the pressure.
No, I mean, but
perhaps they could survive. But I want to give props to Miami for hiring this guy, Travis Steele.
Yeah, but 11 versus 11 or 12 versus 12, you're not playing a patsy. I mean, that's still a team that deserves in the tournament themselves.
No, but you're not playing a 5 that you might have to play in that first game.
No. That's true, but I mean,
Travis Steele, this cat learned his chops at Indiana, 4-year head coach at Xavier, won the NIT with them.
Yeah.
And now his 4th year, he's killing it. I mean, he is killing it, doing a great job. Anyway, happy for him. And
they play offense, baby.
Yeah. You never know, man. When we saw the 16 beat the 1. So it happens.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to get bogged down because I know you have a lot to say about U.S. hockey and the men
you do.
And women.
You do. I wanted to give you your chance because you weren't here on Monday when Aaron Porchline and I chopped it up. We got real good response. I think, except for tell Tim to shut up and let Aaron talk more. No, I'm just joking. Probably some, I'd never read those things. But the bottom line is we had good response only because, man, what a moment.
Tremendous.
What a moment. No, I'm talking about what a moment in time.
Yeah.
United States men's hockey team. I know what you're talking about, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I wanted to get your take real quick on one of those moments we'll remember the rest of my life. Of course, I'm 71, but one of those special moments in sports, you're going to remember how you felt, how the hair stood up on the back of your neck.
That's it.
When they beat Canada in overtime, Jack Hughes taking the pass from Columbus Blue Jackets, Zach Werenski, put it right on the tape, whatever you call that.
Yeah.
And then Jack Hughes through the 5-hole of the sliding Canadian goaltender Bennington. And there's a great video of that shot that some fan took from right behind the Canada's goal, or just to the as you're looking at it, the goal is just to the left in this video, and it follows it, and Bennington's just standing there almost like he's at attention,
upright,
watching what's going on at the other end of the court. I knew I'd mess it up.
That's all right.
Other end of the rink.
Yeah. And
all of a sudden he sees, I forgot who got the puck for the United States, and just ends up putting it, making the pass to Werenski.
Yeah.
Who then beats the Canadian for the puck.
Yeah.
And then the puck just stops on the, how many times does a puck on ice just stop?
Right.
And it just stopped right there. But it's a great, how Bennington goes from like maybe standing there thinking this thing's going to be over in a second. And he was right. Actually 10 seconds.
The wrong
and
way.
then by he got into his crash, got extremely ready. And this the cavalry's trying to come over the hill for Canada, late coming over the hill, because it's basically a 2-on-1, and not even that. It's almost like a 2-on-a-half, and then a 2-on-1, and it puts it on the tape for Jack Hughes, and Jack Hughes with the shot. It's a great view of it. And Bennington, bless his heart, you can tell he's a veteran, because he gives up that goal, can't believe it, and just kind of skates off. Because here's the thing.
He immediately just went like this.
Here's the thing. It will always be in his, we were talking about your memorial service for your mom. It will always be in his rearview mirror, that moment.
Oh, my God.
But there is nothing you can do about it.
Nothing.
It's done.
Another 4 years.
And like Porty said, they're going to spend 3.5 years with a dissection and an autopsy of what the hell happened up in Canada.
Just like the Soviets.
When in fact, it's hockey. That's what hockey is all about. Those are you kidding me moments that come out of nowhere, right? So what was your take? I'm sure you watched it. I know you watched it because you were tweeting.
Tim, we were on the road 5 straight days. And after my mom's service.
I told you not to take the Natchez Trace, but go ahead.
And we left
50 miles an hour.
We left Houston, Mississippi about 3:30, and we took a page from our childhoods. We had double income, no kids. And when I worked my first TV job in Columbus, Mississippi, we used to drive to Memphis to stay at the South Grand Hotel, the Peabody. So we went to the Peabody, and we were having that luxurious breakfast in the room, the whole bit. And they were going to overtime. And my wife was she left the room she was going down the hall. I don't know if it was ice or going to the lot.
Wait, let's throw this in there. You were watching in style.
Oh, a TV as big as, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And we had the table pulled over, 2 chairs. We were both watching. She was into it as much as I. And I said, "Where are you going? It's 3-on-3. They're not going to, it only takes one mistake and it's over."
Yeah. I can almost match that, but go ahead.
And so I hear the door click, and Werenski makes the pass, score, and I go running to the door. They did it. I mean, and all the people working the rooms, cleaning up, because it was about checkout time. They all went, what just happened?
Yeah.
So give me your version.
My wife, after regulation, my wife went to walk our dog real quickly, because you got to figure they're going into OT 20 minutes. I mean, It's nonstop OT at that point.
Right.
You got time to walk the dog.
No, you don't.
Oops.
Oh, it was amazing. And yeah, I was kind of thinking, where is it going to fall compared to 80?
Yeah.
And I heard the Eruzione quote, well, maybe they'll stop bothering us.
Yeah, and that's a good one. It's kind of like the Miami Dolphins waiting for that next
72.
undefeated team, right? But here's the thing, they were so different because you beat the Soviet Union. And I didn't get in an argument with Porty on this. I mean, I think he agreed with me. But really, when it comes to hockey, modern day hockey, Canada is the Soviet Union, the team that can't be beat. I mean, and they're in red. But they're the team that can't be beat on a consistent basis. And boom, the Four Nations Cup. I mean, but this time, not tonight. Not tonight. I'm
going to remember the poached eggs.
Yeah.
And the Hughes goal.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Sounds like a Frasier episode, poached eggs and ham.
Yeah.
And by the way, here's the thing. State of the Union address is the State of the Union address. One guy's the president, and he's giving it 1 year or for 4 straight years or 8 straight years. Another guy comes in. State of the Union address, I remember when I had to report on it in the 6th grade in Lufkin, Texas, 6th grade, and we had a test on it. I was the only guy that made 100 because you wrote down notes. Like you write down copious notes. I wrote down copious notes and had all the answers. The teacher. Yeah. Had all the answers to the questions that our teacher asked about the State of the Union address, including then, I swear, Lyndon Baines Johnson said they were going to move, I think it was a $2 billion budget. Might have been $10 billion, but $2 billion.
Okay.
As opposed to what it is now. You know what I mean?
Trillions.
Yeah. Yeah. With an S, with an American, with a
debt.
The dollar sign, trillions, dollar sign. Here's the thing. It's just like going to the White House when you win a championship. You're being honored as a team by the United States of America. I mean, yeah, the president's going to take a lap, they all take a lap. So I remember going in 2002 with Jim Tressel and the team. I flew with them. You did too. I think on that, remember we flew on that jet, flew into Dulles. It was a snowstorm that day. And, but the point is, it's George Bush Jr. or George W. Bush, George Bush Jr. George W. Bush was the president. I didn't care who the president was, whatever. You going into the White House, me and Ryan Miller was covering it for Channel 10. We got run out of a couple of rooms we weren't supposed to be in at the White House when we were just killing time before the ceremony. Point is, who cares who the guy was? Why should it matter to you, Joe Blow, sitting out there in Kokomo or wherever you are? It's the United States hockey team, which just had an incredible moment for all Americans. Okay, this wasn't a referendum on who's in power or anything else to that regard. It's a referendum on United States hockey and the NHL, getting their act together and letting guys in the NHL go play in these big time tournaments, over the last many years. It's a referendum on that for sure. But this belly aching that it's a political comment that they showed up to be honored in front of a joint session of Congress with the president making a speech. I mean, get over it. It's starting to really piss me off that you can't have these traditional moments without it being a referendum on one thing or another. And, the women's team deserves their moment also. But,
yeah, they do.
Of
course.
Whatever. If politics enter into it for you as an athlete, you have that right not to go.
But
but to browbeat someone who just wants to go, because he wants that honor, that moment of being in the spotlight one more time. I mean, how can you fault them on that? It's just really making me sick to my stomach what's going on in a lot of ways. And we're never talking politics on this show because that's the best way to divide your audience. Right. And if I just divided it a little bit, to heck with you. If you left because of what I just said, adios, amigos.
Well, you represented your country on the ice. you're also representing them
Did you see,
over here.
Did you see Jack Hughes? Did you listen to Jack Hughes about how just incredibly honored he was to be playing? And he said everybody in the room to be playing for the United States of America and what it meant to him.
Yes.
I mean, he was welling up, man. I mean, that wasn't fake.
It got me.
And so, you know, to those who had a problem with him being at the State of the Union address. Now, if they'd gotten up and started demonstrating,
that's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, taking a bow is taking a bow. So that's where I stood with that.
Urban won it in
14.
Barack Obama was the president. I think I've got that right.
Yeah, I don't remember that far back. Yes, he was.
And I'm going to look that up because I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, but anyway, the bottom line is,
but we were at the White House with that group.
Yeah.
And Ohio State, I mean,
yeah,
Urban Meyer, from what I can tell, is a Republican.
Yeah.
Did he not show up?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Just
too bad.
I mean, when Jesse Jackson started crying the night that Barack Obama won, hell, that got me, man.
Well, of course it did.
It just was such a moment.
All kinds of reasons
for our country.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you're right. If you start down one path,
no, you don't go down that path.
Yeah,
but
the
bottom line is,
all right,
you accept the moment. You accept the moments for what they are. And the United States hockey team had one of the greatest moments in sports history. End of sentence. Should be honored for it. To me, getting invited to go to the White House to be honored is like getting invited to go be honored in a parade. You know, same idea.
Yep.
And it's not a Republican parade or a Democrat parade or an independent parade. It's a parade. And if somebody wants to honor you and they have, you know, basically that kind of situation, nobody's ever had problems with that before until recently about the White House thing. So it is what it is. I'm talking about in Moss, some have. Yeah. Like so anyway, that's the end of that.
Yeah. 10 years ago, somebody, and I don't remember the group, said, Clay, we want you to be our grand marshal of this parade. And I was talking to my wife and I'm like, I don't. And she's like, are you crazy? These people went out of their way to do something nice for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to go over there.
I saw a joke there, but I'm not going to use it.
No, I mean, it just, and it was a great day. And
heck
whatever.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you what I enjoyed. I enjoyed being at the honoring Jerry Emig moment on Monday at Ohio State. The only bad thing is Jerry had something to say, and then they were going to have open mic for people to get up and just say a couple things about Jerry. And somehow or another, I didn't step up I got pushed to the front to say something about Jerry and whatever. But just before I stepped up there, Jerry said, oh, and by the way, there's an open bar in the back and whatever. And it was like quiet as a mouse in there until he said that. And then I got up there to speak, and it was like I was at a country western bar playing rock and roll. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody was talking and stuff, and I'm just going, you know, I should have just walked off. I thought it was, to be honest with you, I thought it was pretty damn rude. But, you know, whatever.
That's not
but
right.
It was what it was, and nobody else got up and gave a testimonial. So I got a lot of people off the hook on that regard. But yeah, but Jerry Emig, dude, just like you can be split sometimes because Jerry's job a lot of times was on behalf of someone else, right? To say no, or no, that can't work. That's not going to happen.
Or you see somebody getting something that you want, and then you got to go fight him for it.
Right.
I mean, there's always that tug of war.
Right. But Jerry Emig's one of the great guys I've ever met, period.
Yeah.
Great family man, incredible family man. Figured out a way to work 65 hours a week because he was always there. He was always there like 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Wow. And dude, he'd be there, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. As a sports information director, he went through 2 stints of that.
Well, he barely, given all the breaking things that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably had no time to put a fork in his mouth.
No. And he had
at 8:30, I'm calling him going,
And Michael Bassford has done a hell of a job, as Jerry's quote, second end quote, but he's his own man. I hope Michael Bassford gets the chance to stick around with the football team.
That's right.
You're hearing they're hiring from out of the loop, so to speak, for the new football SID. Mm-hmm. We'll see where that goes. I got to meet Chris Park, great guy. The guy who's coming in now to run the entire communications show along with these other shows. You immediately have camaraderie with this guy because his last job was at Baylor. He had been at Texas A&M, his alma mater. Before that, he'd been there when Ross was there. And then Trev Alberts, when he came in from Nebraska, in this day and age of trimming budgets, he had to trim a bunch of guys. And Chris Park's one of the great guys you've ever met. I even got a scouting report on him from one of my favorite people of all time, Pat Chun, athletic director at Washington. Before that, he worked for Pat Chun when he was the athletic director at Washington State. And just a great guy, native of Texas, like yours truly, knows where Lufkin is. Had a job at Sam Houston State, so you know what I mean. Yeah. It's a very
immediate connection.
But he's a good guy too. I mean, it's a great guy to talk to. Awesome. And so much of a small world, right? Yeah, now, with that said,
it is.
You were at the memorial service for your mom, and and I think what it really struck you was being in a small town again.
Yeah,
because we all are where we're from, right? No matter how much you grow up. I like to say my famous line is, when people make fun of you for having a Southern accent or something, like they still do me, even though people down in Texas make fun of me for having a Northern accent now. But the bottom line is you can't help where you start because that's product of your mom and dad. Yep. But you can't help where you finish, right? You can do something about where you finish. I've been living up here for 49 years. Totally love it up here. My 3 grandkids are all up here. Yeah, it was 2. It was 2 before you left for Mississippi. Now it's 3. By the way, my first granddaughter. Gosh, she is so damn cute. Or even not even 2 weeks old yet. Wow. But so damn cute. But anyway, pretty fired up about that. Little Teddy is kind of her name. Not her full name. That's just what she's going by. Mm-hmm. And, but anyway, as you said, it struck you, being in that small town again, like it did me when I went memorial services for my mom and dad, had to speak at them and stuff. And it just strikes you, people who show up for those things. Yeah. And, sometimes you wish you could have been there 10 years earlier because there would have been more of their peers. Right. but it is what it is, but go ahead, Clay, I think you had something to say about that.
Well, I was born in this little town, but I don't think we lived there more than a few weeks before my dad started his climb through the John Deere ranks. And we moved to some other small towns in Mississippi, Yazoo City.
Yeah. Hey, name them.
Yeah. Yazoo
First, you're talking about Houston, Mississippi, right?
Yeah, in the north central part, 30 miles from Tupelo, where Elvis was born. And it was just so wild. Driving down there, it had just been a long time, and it just was.
Take your time, man. Don't you tell us what it was like? I mean,
so we stopped. My wife was driving. We stopped at the Alcorn County, Welcome Center, whatever.
Yeah,
and
to get your gift,
and we literally, because sometimes I never trust the GPS. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, I got to get some maps. She goes, I'm pulling in here. And this place was so cool. It had maps from every state in the country. Yeah. I was like, there's no need to go anywhere else. Anyway.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you.
What was so
heartfelt, heartwarming?
I guess.
What's the word?
Because when I was a kid, I would take these caramel tarts that my grandmother made in her kitchen. Yeah. And I would walk them to the square, the Chickasaw County Courthouse Square. Yeah. And I would deliver them to the Rexall drugstore. And they would all be gone during lunch. They sold out every time. And it was a big thing. My brother and I would fight over who was going to walk the tarts. Yeah. And I would be like, Dean, you're going to drop it, So my wife and I are staying at this place, Daisy on the Square.
Yeah. I checked that place out online. That's a nice place, brother.
So we stayed there, and I said, let's, it was like 60. and I said, she goes, let's take a walk around. So we went to the Rexall. We got double scoop cones at the same counter. It hasn't changed a dadgum bit. $3. I had strawberry. She had caramel, whatever, but it was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
It just was surreal. And then looking down the street where the Presbyterian church was, where the service was going to be, and then going out to dinner that night with this town was probably 3,000 people when I was a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have I guess you'd call them family reunions, happened at Christmas, and they were at Granny Hall's house. And my grandmother had a tea shop and cooked food there. She also had 10 bedrooms in this massive thing. And she had boarders who would stay there week by week.
Like Petticoat Junction.
And after she passed, it became a B&B or whatever. Yeah. And we drove, and my wife has always been kind of infatuated with the house and the whole thing. And she was driving when we came in, and she saw the for sale sign, and she's like, we got to buy this thing. And I was like, hun, they can't, no. And for the next 2 or 3 days, she looked it up, 320,000, 8 bedrooms. I said, they can't. That's why it's been sold 4 times. They
can't make a living on it.
Not in Houston.
Yeah.
But anyway, just thoroughly enjoyed. And I guess the thing that struck me, and I told my cousin, because my dad was farming kind of as a teenager and before he went to Korea, before he went to school, college and whatever. And I said to him one time, man, I just would have loved if you just farmed and we lived in Houston, because I'm a small town kid.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the path he was taking. And we moved and we moved and we moved. And as you said, my relatives always said, because I was raised in the Midwest, you talk funny.
Yeah.
And then I would say to them, no, you talk funny.
Exactly.
With your y'all and your this and your that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, I always told people up here when they said I talk funny, I go, no, you're the one who has the accent.
Yeah.
I'm a good old American boy.
So as I wrote on Facebook, my cousin and her daughter played the music. My other many cousins involved here was the floral designer. She did that.
Yeah.
The ladies of the Presbyterian, I mean, every part of the family was involved. And what I didn't know is that the Houston Presbyterian Church is now on the registry of historic places, and that added to it. And my brother made this beautiful card with pictures and whatever.
Yeah. That's great.
And so we had lunch there after, and I was like, I'm all right. And nobody would leave. It was just like, and as I said,
how many more?
And
here's the thing: how many more chances are you going to have?
Right.
For a reunion like that? I looked at those with my mom and dad. I looked at those as reunions, not memorial services.
That's exactly right.
Because I don't keep up with everybody. But go ahead. I mean,
and as I told you before, I had a cousin in Amarillo, and this other in Tulsa.
Amarillo by morning.
And I said, well, let's get together at least one more time before 44 years.
Yeah, we always say that.
Passes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's great, man.
Yeah, it was good.
Now, the big question before, and don't go on and on. What did y'all have for lunch?
Well, you know what we had: fried chicken, ham. We had corn casserole. We had. It was. It was fabulous.
Yeah. Was cornbread anywhere around?
Cornbread. I protested. There was no cornbread. There was only rolls, and I said, "I'll boycott the rolls. I don't need the bread anyway."
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So
that's good, man. Good for you.
Yeah. And then the wife and I took off for the Peabody, and that was. It was poetic in some way that we would be back there. And I told them I haven't been here in 43 years.
Yeah. It's upgraded too, man. If they got widescreen televisions. I've never stayed there. I know people who've stayed there. The ducks in the fountain who make their daily
11:30
migration, right? Really, they go from one to the other.
It is. It's
Memphis is a different.
It's a throwback.
Memphis should not be confused with Houston, Mississippi, by any stretch. Beale Street, etc. But good for you because, like I said, I was born in a town called Demopolis. Matter of fact, I have a Demopolis T-shirt and a Demopolis cap just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
But it was down like 8,000 when I was growing up there, and I think it's still 8,000. But right on U.S. Highway 80. Selma's down the road 55 miles, and then Montgomery another 45 miles. And we stood out there and watched the Freedom Riders. I mean, you're in Demopolis.
Yeah.
U.S. Highway 80 was the Freedom Highway, and they remember the Freedom Riders going by from west to east from Mississippi in these Greyhound buses, these chartered buses. Maybe they weren't all Greyhound, but headed east towards Selma and Montgomery. That summer of 60 would have been the summer of 65. We didn't move to Texas until August of 65, spring of 65. And we all know what went down in the mid 60s in Alabama, where we grew up and stuff. And it's, boy, so divorced from those days now. It's thank God. But that's more of a tangent for me to go on, a digression some other day. But man, I'm glad to have you back, brother.
Oh, appreciate you. One last thing, as I was able to get through the emotion of it, I said my mom's hallmarks were God, family, and college football.
Yeah.
And I told the story about her meeting Irvin.
Your mom and my mom probably were cousins. Go ahead.
And they came up one day, and she had a blue jacket on, and I said, "You're not going. We're going to the Woody Hayes, Mom." And I looked at Eli. He came out, got her a scarlet whatever jacket. We went over there. Urban was just walking through the lobby, and Eli goes, "Hey, Dad, there's Coach." I ran outside. I said, "My 86-year-old mother's in here. If you would just say hi, it would be everything." So he comes in, and Mom in that syrupy accent says, "Clay told me that if I came over here wearing blue, you would throw me out of here." And he said, "Mrs. Hall, I wouldn't have thrown you out of here, but you'd be doing push-ups right now." And she just fell out.
Oh, man. That's great.
Yeah, he was great to do it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of another Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall. Especially there at the end. The only thing Clay did not do at the end of this show was dance. And that'll be the next show. But Clay,
that's right.
Enjoyed this one, man. We're going to be back. We're going to be back the end of the week.
Friday.
We're going to talk more just about Ohio State's impact, college football wise, on the modern day NFL combine.
Oh my.
And we'll check on how some guys are doing, what some guys are saying, what others are saying about these guys. Yeah. I keep telling people, ladies and gentlemen, and you're those people, we're living in the golden age of Ohio State football. You just don't know it because you're living in the middle of it. Yeah. Just like when I was growing up in the early 60s, I was born in 54, in the early 60s in Demopolis, Alabama, when we have those weekly drills where we'd have to learn how to jump under our desk at a moment's notice in case there was a nuclear bomb. Oh my. You know what I mean? That was an era, best forgotten.
Right.
But the bottom line is this is the golden era for Ohio State football. It's been that way really starting in the mid 90s under John Cooper, with few exceptions. Fantastic football being played. More than that, ridiculous numbers of players being brought in, developed, etc., and moving on to the National Football League. It's on a par unto its own. The closest you can get maybe is Alabama.
Yeah.
And Georgia, and possibly, I can say that word, Michigan.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple others, but this is it. And so we're going to talk about that even more. May even have a guest or two to talk about the ramifications of modern day college football at The Ohio State University. Without further ado, for my friend Clay, I'm Tim May. Until next time, we'll see you then. By the way, Clay has left the room. I wanted to let you folks in on a real bargain out there in the world of simulator golf. The Back Nine Back Nine Golf, which is located at 2820 Fishinger Road in Upper Arlington, has a hell of a holiday box available to you right now. The value is nearly $300, but your price is $150 if you jump online. That's almost 50% off if you jump online at Columbus at theback9golf.com. That's their email address. Their website is theback9golf.com/Columbus-upper-Arlington-OH/ That's a long address, but just write it down a couple times watching it. And you can also call them at 614-362-7888, parentheses, PUTT, P-U-T-T. But the bottom line is one of the new ultra modern simulators that you can find in the greater Columbus area. And it's really right there in the middle of Upper Arlington. I know Tito Thidoff and I hopped in there the other day. I think it was 16 degrees outside. There was snow and ice everywhere, and we played Pebble Beach. And we did it in less than an hour. So it's one of the great bargains going out there. And with this holiday box, you get 1 month of Birdie membership. You get Back Nine branded golf balls. You get cozy Back Nine beanie, and you get premium Back Nine towel. So that's a hell of a deal because basically it's unlimited golf. It's 24/7. You get a code to get you in the door, and then you can go from there. And it's definitely fun. It's the premises are pristine. I know we had a great time. We even played closest to the hole, a few shots on number 7, famed number 7 short par 3 at Pebble Beach the other day, and had a great time doing it. So if you're looking for that last minute gift for a golfer that you love, or yourself that you love, that you're a golfer, nothing wrong with giving yourself a gift at this time of the year. That's the Back Nine Golf holiday box, and it's only a limited time. And as you can imagine, there are only a few available. Quantities are tight. So check in at theback9golf.com.